Hi friend, I hope you had a great week. So today I want to talk about unbelief on our yearly topic of I believe, but help me in my unbelief from Mark. I want to talk to you about the fact how does unbelief even sneak into our lives? How does it even happen? I think one of the things that happens is if we put our trust in something that's not even trustworthy, and then something happens and it doesn't come to pass, something in us is changing. We might have believed in something, like that father in that story where Jesus heals his son eventually. He might have believed in doctors. He might have believed in whatever the situation was, but none of them could come through. And that stirred more and more unbelief in his life. He might have come to a place where he started not trusting and started not figuring it out or being yeah, it's not going to happen. But that's not the truth, right? God can come through, and he's coming through. Another reason unbelief comes in our lives is we trust for things or we want certain things, that we decide we want to have, but that might not be the best for us in first place. How good would it be if you're an 18-year-old and your first car, you want I'm going to pray for a Ferrari. How good would that be if God would give you a Ferrari? Probably a really bad idea because you probably don't even know how to drive that car, right? But what happens then? You're going to be frustrated about God and be why didn't you give me my Ferrari? Why didn't you give me my car? Huh? What's going on? How can I not have a Ferrari? You probably don't want to give me anything. And slowly unbelief is sinking in our lives. Another one is if people, it's very easy to share something negative that happened to us, right? It's very simple. It's oh, I had that bad situation and this went wrong and blah, 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 blah. But it seems it's a lot harder for people to share that actually good things happened. And every time something goes wrong and we start believing in those wrong things, of course they're going to start pushing our belief down, right? It's oh, it didn't work out for that person, or that went wrong in that person's life. Oh, I guess God must not be that good. And then they step into unbelief, and it's growing in their lives. It opens the door for it. The more and more. Instead of we're sharing the good and the amazing things God is doing. I'm not saying don't share the sides that are hard. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about if somebody is struggling with belief at the point, you probably shouldn't share all those deep things where oh, and God failed there, and God failed there, or all those things went wrong. Because in reality, God actually never fails. God never gives up on us. But you should share something which stirs up the belief of that person and lifts them up, right? In this situation, Jesus yeah, what do you mean if I can heal your son? Of course I can heal him. Everything's possible for those who believe, right? And then Jesus heals his son. So I want to encourage you with this. If you have unbelief in your heart, if it's running there, if it's overcome you or whatever, I want to encourage you to really ask God to help you in that area, to set you free from unbelief, to strengthen you and bring hope in your life. But then you also have to start looking what brought that unbelief into your life in the first place. And when you start dealing with that, then you start actually becoming free. And then when you share with other people, your stories about your experience with God and what God was doing in your life, focus on those things. That God brought change, that God brought healing, that God brought a new revelation, and stir up in others belief. because it's going to change people. God, I just want to pray for every person that's watching this right now. I want to pray that you bring up areas where unbelief is in their life and show them why it's there. And then help them come up with a strategy how to overcome it. Give them tools, give them ideas, help them to move forward. I just want to pray that every person that's watching this will get breakthrough in their life in the area of unbelief. So just bless each one. In your name, Jesus. Amen. Have a blessed week. Bye.